Hello! Welcome to a special edition episode of the Rotten Horror Picture Show, where today Amanda and I are taking you to the theater.
Yes.
The legitimate theater. The kind of theater you need to buy tickets. Well, you know, I knew movies were in a new place when you had to start buying tickets for movies the way you buy tickets for like theater productions.
Like to reserve a seat.
Yeah, like months in advance. Like they say they just put tickets on sale for Avengers Doomsday, which doesn't open until December. And it's already like the first 2 weeks are like completely sold out.
Jesus.
It's nuts.
Oh my God.
But yes, Amanda and I were lucky enough to kind of on a whim go to see the new stage play production of Paranormal Activity.
Yes.
And I thought this would be a fun thing to talk about for anybody who is interested in seeing it. It is going to be on Broadway starting in September or possibly late August. I think Wikipedia said Broadway in August. I thought I saw somewhere else that said September. Anyway.
Yeah. Soon.
Oh, no, I guess it'll be August. It says the play will also begin a UK and Ireland tour opening at the Richmond Theatre from 7th September to 2026 until May 2027.
Cool.
But yeah, so this is it's plays being made out of movies have been very popular the last handful of years.
Yeah.
I think since Spamalot won every Tony in existence, it's kind of turned into a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And they've just gotten more and weirder, I would say, as far as the subject matter they're pulling from.
Yes.
For instance, there's a Beetlejuice musical.
Yep.
There is a Back to the Future musical, which I have heard is both of those are visually very awesome. But the idea of sitting through those, especially after seeing on the Thanksgiving Day parade, I saw like the cast of Back to the Future.
Like perform a song.
Yeah, doing like Power of Love. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. But I'm generally not that big of a theater. I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
I went to my first Broadway show earlier this year.
Oh, congratulations.
I got to see John Lithgow play racist old man Roald Dahl.
Great.
Which was very good, but you know, it's fun. The funniest thing.
Maybe not what you thought you were getting into.
Oh, I knew what I was getting into.
Oh, okay. All right.
So here's the thing, right? I had never been to a Broadway show, and my wife and I were going to New York, and so like, well, let's go to a Broadway show. And I was like, oh, Death Becomes Her is now on Broadway.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, that would be really fun to see.
Yes.
And then she said, there's this other play about Roald Dahl, who is one of her favorite authors.
For the racism.
Yeah, for the racism. And I was like, yeah, let's. I guess that sounds great.
Speaking of the power of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was good.
Yeah.
It was really interesting, and Lithgow was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. So
the funniest thing about it though is I didn't realize every play has like a selection of merch that you can buy. Even if your play is a 2-act dramatic work about a racist children's author. So yeah, you're like looking through the playbill, and at the back it's like it's called Giant. Head to giantonbroadway.com and get your tumbler with the play's logo on it, or like for all you giant heads out there who just love this play.
Giant heads.
So like I found that kind of weird. What's your experience with theater? Did you do theater?
Yes.
You did.
Yeah. Why do you sound so surprised, Clay?
No, I feel like we've talked about it before, but
we definitely have. I started from a young age as more of a dancer.
Yeah.
So I got involved. I mean, in high school, I got involved with the like drama club we had at school, and I started on the crew. So I started backstage, and then it was sort of just like, we need more people to do stuff. And I was like, all right, I'll try doing stuff. And then I had some parts in some plays. But because I danced, I got like roped into a lot of the musicals because they needed people who could who could dance, and like I'm not a very good singer, but in a chorus I'm fine.
Sure.
And so I was fine enough at that, and I was a good enough dancer that it was like, great, you're in, get up there. Yeah, I only really did it in high school, and then I definitely during that period went through like my musical theater phase where I was like watching more shows, like Broadway shows. That was when I went to my first, technically it was off Broadway, and we went to see Rent in New York.
Nice.
And then I went to a bunch of like ballets and musical theater and plays with my mom in the city. We saw Wicked when it came around.
Famous Boston play.
42nd Street. Definitely Chicago. I loved Chicago. Like I said, several ballets. I did like a very brief internship at the Boston Ballet for a little while. Yeah, it was like a really short thing through my school, but it was really, really cool. I got to do a lot of.
Did you have to powder all the shoes?
No, but I got to see the shoe room that the ballet keeps or kept at the time, and it was absolutely crazy. Just like because they just went through, like when they were doing especially multiple shows during the seasons, they would just go through so many shoes. They just had to have like every possible option available in every possible size. And I got to see like backstage at the Wang Center, which is now like the Bach Center.
They couldn't deal with that silly name.
They couldn't do it anymore, and then Ernie Bach just gave them a bunch of money, I guess.
You didn't have like one of the people on the crew at the ballet be like, I can show you the backstage of the Wang Center if you'd like.
No, thankfully. It was very supervised, shall we say. I was like 17 or something. But it's just really cool. I got to be like around while they were doing Carmen.
Cool.
And just like hanging out. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. As I got older, I would still go to plays. Like I had friends who did theater into college, and I would go to their shows and support them. I like stopped dancing after an injury, so I myself stopped really participating. And then I don't know. Outside of that, I've been to some plays, but it's just not. It's not like my go-to culture thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this was actually really fun because it just would not have occurred to me to like be like, hey, we should buy a ticket to this. So
yeah,
thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I when I first saw that they were doing this, I kind of rolled my eyes a bit.
Same.
Because I didn't really know what to expect, and it's like, oh, okay.
Right. You're kind of like, how does one translate something like Paranormal Activity onto just like a live stage? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, is it a bunch of what was that?
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, so it was in Boston at the Emerson Colonial Theater, and it was only there for a couple months, I think maybe just over a month.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, the way I found out about this was I had bought tickets to this like vaudeville review show that John C. Reilly has been doing.
You nerd.
There's one thing in common with my theater going experiences, and they're, except for this Paranormal Activity, they are usually things my wife is interested in. And I thought that would be something she would be interested in. But then about a month or so out, I got an email saying it was canceled and my ticket was refunded, and that for its spot was being taken by Paranormal Activity, the play. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I had no intention of going to see it, but then I kept getting these ads on Facebook. It's like 2 tickets for $100. I'm like, okay. And it was like the last week, and I was like, my wife's had a coworker who went that said it was really cool, and I was like, you know what? I feel like this is unique enough that I'm probably going to kick myself if I don't see this. Yeah. Because if it's good, I'm never going to be able to see it.
Right.
So I grabbed some tickets for the two of us and my wife and our friend.
Yeah.
We went to check it out, and we're going to talk to you about it. I want to do this a little bit differently, though, because if you haven't seen the play, I don't want to spoil everything for you. So we're going to do just sort of non-spoilery thoughts and stuff, and then we'll take a little break and then come back and talk a little bit more in depth about it. Yeah. But yeah, so it's the first thing that was very surprising is how effective the whole set was.
Yes.
Because what you're getting, and I wouldn't say this is a spoiler, is the set is a dollhouse view, basically.
Yeah.
Of an apartment where you see the kitchen.
Of a house.
A house, yeah.
Yeah.
See the kitchen, living room, and then stairs that go upstairs. There's a small hallway with a doorway. It's the only room you can't see into.
Yeah.
And then there's a bedroom and a bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's a really smart way of mimicking the idea of watching people through like home videos.
Yeah.
Because you are this omniscient, I mean, I guess that's every play, but it gives you this omniscient view of the house.
Yeah.
That really kind of mimics the same kind of thing that they do in the movie.
Yeah, where it opens up your field of view. You're not just stuck in, a traditional set might be 1, maybe 2 rooms. This gives you the whole house, and it stays they don't shift the main set. Right,
yeah,
like
right.
Things in the set will move around. They'll pull a chair over here, or someone will throw a bag on the countertop,
or sometimes they move on their own.
Right, like there, it is a fully furnished house, right? Like they can go sit at the kitchen table, they can go they can lay on the couch together, they can go upstairs, somebody can shut themselves in the bathroom, like they go and they get into bed at one point, they open the closet doors, like it's supposed to feel as regular and natural as a real house, but because you are, as the audience, in this, like, I like how you put it, as a dollhouse view, where it's almost like they chopped the back of a house off, and you can now just like see directly into the whole thing. It's so effective of giving you that, like, you can see where they are at all times.
Yeah,
you can see, like, if he's in the kitchen cooking and she's gone upstairs to get her bathrobe from the bathroom, you can watch both of them at the same time.
Right.
You can watch empty spaces in the house. I think it's really effective, and it keeps the story. It both builds tension because there's more for your eyes to try and take in at one time, but it also keeps the play itself moving along pretty snappy, like between scenes and kind of acts of the play. There are some plays where it's like they need time. Like the curtain has to come down, so then like a song is going to play for a few minutes while they shift a whole scene from, the inside of an apartment building to this square in Paris. Like they have to just move everything and move all this stuff in, and it means that you don't get to see people just sort of like relax in a space. Everybody's always like going from this place to this place.
Yeah, and it allows for your eye to constantly be darting from room to room because you're waiting for things to happen or whatnot.
Yeah.
And so just to back up a little bit, this is a brand new story.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the movies.
Which I was really glad about.
Yeah.
Because that had been my initial, like, when I was seeing advertisements for this, I was like, why would you make Paranormal Activity into a play?
Yeah. Because thankfully not a musical.
Thank God.
As much as I would love to hear The Ghost. I've seen The Ghost.
They should hire you
to get the ghost out from my house.
They should hire you, Clay.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off with my beautiful singing.
No, I love it. God, what was I saying?
Somebody call an exorcist.
No, I thought it was going to be just like a straight up, we're going to do Paranormal Activity up on stage. Yeah. And that made me like totally disinterested in it. So I was really glad when it was like, nope, this is an original story that has been written to be presented in this way. Right? It's meant to be a play. And it was written for that purpose, which I think works way better than just straight up trying to adapt a pre-existing story.
Yeah, and the thing that's interesting is like it is very much a play. Like it has more story to it than any of the Paranormal Activity movies, because it's a story about this married couple who have moved to London from Chicago to kind of get a fresh start. Yeah, and the wife is having she's troubled. Let's put it that way, and
she's been dealing with some shit.
been dealing with some shit, and then then a spooky thing started to happen. But it's like it's as much a two-person relationship drama as it is anything else.
Yes.
And so what you're getting is some pretty decent character stuff.
Yeah.
And the acting I thought was great.
I thought so too.
But the hook to all this, which is, I'm just going to say the end of my review first, which is, if you get the chance to see this, go see this.
Yeah.
The hook is that it's like half drama, half magic show.
Yeah.
Because the paranormal part of the paranormal activity that they mention in the title there is done all through like stagecraft and like magic tricks, essentially.
Yes.
And it is so cool.
Yes.
And it is so effective.
Yep.
And I was really, it made me start thinking about I've always been interested in like spiritualism, and especially not so much like now as people, I'm really into this. I love, I'm interested in the heyday of it.
Yeah.
And specifically the seances and the people that were really into it, and the people who were the purveyors of it.
Yeah, the mediums.
Yeah.
And
one of the things when you look back on that stuff, you go like, I mean, how realistic could this have possibly been? Watching this play, seeing how sucked in everybody gets.
Yeah.
Because like, you're watching a play.
Yes.
This is all fiction. Everything you're watching is some sort of fabricated illusion or something, but it's still freaky as hell.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it really made me think about that stuff, going like, oh, I understand now.
Yeah.
Why so many people were so affected and sometimes bothered by this stuff, because that theatrical experience, even if that's what you're watching, it's still, it was scary. It was good.
Yeah.
It was great.
And I think seeing it with a live audience that was down, right? Like that audience, like everybody in the audience was like here for it. They wanted they were definitely be into it, and like it was really fun to experience it that way. It was like,
I heard more gasps in that play than I did at field day at Fat Camp.
Okay.
Sorry. That just popped into my head for some reason. I felt the need to say it.
Wow. Fat shaming a bunch of children over
I was at the camp, so I can say those things.
But it was like, do you know when you go to see a horror movie and you go on a busy night and it's like a good audience and they're into it and they're gonna have fun with it, and it's good. Like the first time Greg and I went to see Backrooms, it was like pretty packed main theater, like, and people were into it. Like, people were gasping and like getting scared, and it was really fun.
Couldn't believe how much yellow they used.
Absolutely. But it's really fun to be in that environment when people are willing to be drawn in.
Oh yeah.
And this was a great example of that, of how much fun having this kind of experience in a live audience can be. And like, I knew things were going well, shall we say, when during the intermission, you're like, you're in line to get concessions, you're trying to hit the restroom, and everyone around you was just talking about what they had just seen, and oh my God, how did they do that? And like, oh, this part really got me. Like, everyone was universally very sucked in.
Yeah. And
that made it a really fun experience.
Yeah. I would say, I think the marker of its success in that sense is that by the time you get to the end of the story, they're not really throwing any big tricks at you anymore.
Yeah.
But there's been enough that what they're doing in the story is just as effective as the big flashy stuff they did earlier on.
Yeah.
And so you hear people gasping the same way at lines of dialogue that they were at,
yes,
practical special effects.
Yes.
An hour earlier.
Yeah, where everybody had been so drawn into the story itself that any sort of like sudden revelation in the conversation, or even like, this couple they've been put into this kind of pressure cooker situation, and one of them says something, and the whole audience goes, oh, because they can't believe he would say that, or she would say that to him. Like, it was really impressive how
people were reacting as though we were watching an actual couple having a conversation.
Yeah, which I think is a real credit to the acting, absolutely, and also just like the nature of the experience, and going in with everybody who was willing to suspend their disbelief and be engaged for a couple hours.
Yeah, I will say, if I'm going to be critical, I did think the guy playing the husband was a little too theatery for me. There's certain way of delivering dialogue that these stage actors learn now. It's like the lame version of the Shakespearean accent.
Yeah.
Where it's like everything is like, well, then I went over here and that's when I saw the ghost. And it's just like this really kind of like, I'm sure it's for projection reasons or something.
Yeah,
but
and clarity.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that natural.
Yeah. And
that kind of stood out to me.
It's kind of like the theater version of radio voice.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I think that, without getting too into it yet, how did you feel about the actual story? Because by the time you get to the end of it, the way that they wrap everything up is through a lot of dialogue. Like, you get to that big section at the end where things kind of, all the revelations come out.
Yeah.
And I felt that it worked because, as I was saying, you're really drawn into what, because you're waiting for the other shoe to drop and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it's essentially the last 5 minutes are a monologue, kind of.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of thing where if it were a movie, it would not have worked. If it were a movie, I would have been like, why would you do it like that?
Yeah.
But because it is a live performance, and you are, like you were saying, it's just as much a relationship drama as it is like a scary show.
Yeah.
Right? And having the monologue done the way it was done and by the character it was done, without getting into too many spoilers, it worked for me. Like, I found it effective. So, but I could understand why somebody might be like, oh, kind of let down by that. But
honestly,
I think it worked. I think it's more about the characters and the relationship at that point, and like giving you the like, why has this character sort of behaved this way, and like, why has this weird attitude kind of persisted.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I only started thinking about it after the fact. Like, in the moment, I was locked in.
Yeah.
And everybody was locked in.
Yeah.
And so I guess in that sense, it is successful.
Yeah.
And overall, I think there's enough story to keep you interested, but not too much story to get in the way.
Yeah, and I think they do that by keeping the cast really tight. Right, like there's not a ton of characters.
Like 4 people in it, I think.
Yeah, there's not a ton of characters coming in and out. You're not overhearing a lot of phone calls. The neighbors aren't stopping by. Like they keep it pretty pared down to the people you really need involved to tell the whole story.
Yeah. My only other critical thing is, like, they hit you, like the first big illusion or big bit that they do is so good.
Yeah.
And it hits you so hard that
everyone was like screaming at it. Like truly, truly screaming and freaking out.
Yeah. That I was a little bit, I don't know if let down's the right word, because it works two ways, right? Because you've got this first big element and that really sucks you in.
Yeah.
And so the bar to clear is that much lower, because you're already locked in, and so any like small thing
you're primed at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there are certain things where I kind of wish they had gone bigger. Like there's a seance sequence that I was like, oh, this is going to be great. They're going to do like a bunch of like seance stuff.
Yeah.
It's very short.
Yeah.
They only kind of do like one like moving chair kind of bit. They do a really fun thing where instead of, because using a Ouija board in a play would not read at all.
Yeah.
They have like a spirit box that essentially acts like a Ouija board.
Yeah.
But
it's like
talks.
Yeah, it's like an old-timey radio in a suitcase.
Yeah.
That allows a voice to come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for a bit more from that scene specifically. That whole part of the play, of the story, I think could have been fine-tuned a bit. Like that the character who comes in to do that seance, the way that all resolves itself, it's like, this could have been a little bit, they could have done a little more with this, I think. But,
sure.
Especially because she's in and out so fast and then never shows up again.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like as far as I have never gone to a play and had that kind of experience before.
Yeah.
Where, I feel like it's very much almost like you're on a ride.
Yes.
I've seen a ton of music. Like musicals don't really do anything for me.
Yeah.
My mother used to do local theater, so I've seen like everything.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. And like, it's like, the musicals don't work for me. Dramas are fine. But I just don't think you're ever going to have the responses to like 12 Angry Men that you are to this. I mean, I don't know. When he throws that knife on the table, that's pretty big. But like this is a kind of theater that I wish there was more of. Yeah, same. Because it reminds me of this sort of spiritualist era and also this like tradition of I never know how to pronounce this phrase. It's French. Is it Grand Guignol? Yeah, where it's basically the horror movie equivalent of the theater. Yeah, which is always this very
like big over the top kind of gothic,
bloody, spectacular, and like I don't think that really exists that much anymore. Yeah, not really. So having something like this that kind of taps into that and really gives you a different experience, that's shocking, but in a different way than seeing John Lithgow say the N-word, which I don't think actually happens in the play. Not that I can remember. It's mostly Jews he doesn't like. Oh, okay. Jesus. But it's like I came out of there going like, man, this was like for a night at the theater. Yeah. Money well spent. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 I went into it very like, this will be a fun thing to do with my friends. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like I was like, worst case scenario, we grabbed some tacos in a beer garden beforehand and then we hung out and watched this thing. So yeah, my expectations were pretty low. And then as it got going, I was like, oh, this is actually really good. And then it really kicked up and I was like, this is actually really fun. Yeah. And I totally agree. I wish there was more live theater along these lines where they are trying to do some interesting new stuff, but it's not necessarily like quote unquote experimental theater. It's not just some guy taking off t-shirts for 45 minutes until he's shirtless and screaming in the middle of the stage. Right. Like, yeah, that's less interesting to me. Yeah. And this was directed by a guy named it's written by Levi Holloway and it's directed by a guy named Felix Barrett. Felix Barrett is the, like, what does it say? He was the production designer. Was the artistic director? Yeah, he's the artistic director of a company called Punch Drunk, which is the company behind Sleep No More. Yes. If you're familiar with Sleep No More. I have seen it 3 times. And the person who does all of the illusions and stuff is a guy named Chris Fisher, who looks like he's done a play called The Psychic, the Black Swan play, which honestly, that was also playing in Cambridge, and I would have gone to see that, but I mean, I wish I had not. Maybe it's still there. I have to look into it, if you had realized, yeah. Looks like maybe he was involved in a version of The Tempest. Yes, yep, and I don't know, something else. These things I don't know. Anyway, yeah, they do some pretty cool stuff. Yes. If you have a chance to see it, I would recommend it. I assume you would also. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. If you would like to know a little bit more about what we saw in the play and some of the special effects and some of the fun things, we're going to take a quick break and then we are going to talk about it.
Let's begin with an experiment. Shut your eyes, please. Settle into the darkness. Wait now. Breathe. You see the echo of an image temporarily burned into your retina. Here, I offer an irrevocable truth born from a lifetime of rigorous doubt. Here it is. Places aren't haunted. People are.
Okay, so spoiler warning. Everything after this is spoiling the show.
Yes.
So with that in mind,
Uh-huh.
how fucking cool was that robe thing?
That was so fucking good.
That was incredible.
It was so well done.
Yeah.
Because you knew. All right. Do we want to describe the whole thing, or do we want to give like a brief?
Yeah. Yeah. So they do this bit like there's a couple little things, like flickering lights and whatever. The first big bit that they do, is the couple gets into a fight.
Yep.
And the wife goes upstairs into this room that you can't see into. It's the only room you can't see into.
Right. The door is sort of facing directly out on the audience. So when the door's open, you can only see what's immediately in the door frame. And when the door is closed, you can't see shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she goes in there. She's in there for a while. He's kind of talking to himself, yelling up, trying to talk to her. Finally, she comes out. She's wearing this big robe, like very much like the I'm depressed, don't talk to me robe.
Yes.
With, the hood up over her head. She comes down. He's talking to her. He's like, oh, I'm so glad you came down, blah, 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 blah.
But when she comes down, I just want to be explicit here. When she comes down, it's her.
Yes.
Like, it's fully her.
Yes.
She has a hood up, but you see her. I think she even says something to him. She says, like, yeah, it's okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot, but it's very much her. It is the actress who is playing the wife. Please continue.
Yeah. And so they're like in the process of making dinner. So she goes over to the kitchen where the kitchen is set up. So there's the sink and a counter and then like an L off of there. And so she's right in the corner of the L.
Yeah, with her back to the audience.
Yeah, and she's got this knife and she's cutting vegetables or something. This whole time, the husband is talking to her.
Yes.
Like doing that thing where he's kind of having a one-sided conversation.
Yes, which is like a recurring thing throughout the show.
Yeah.
That he's a bit of a chatterbox. And so it doesn't feel out of the ordinary, right? Like when he just kind of starts rambling at her, it fits with what you've seen of his character so far.
Yeah. And so as soon as she goes over there, I start getting suspicious. Like I'm watching her, I'm like, something's going to happen. I thought she was going to like turn around and like had cut herself or something and be covered in blood.
Yeah.
And I'm watching her and all of a sudden she stops moving.
Yep.
She gets very, very still.
Yep.
And he's still talking. And then a couple seconds later, the upstairs door opens again. And she comes out of that door wearing the same robe.
An identical robe.
And yells down the stairs, "Who are you talking to?" And he immediately turns and looks to where the robe is. And then the robe falls to the ground like she was just killed by Darth Vader.
Yeah, yes. And a knife goes flying over the counter and wedges itself in the floor.
It was so cool.
Yes.
And I feel like I know how they did like half of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they did it.
I mean, I can make some guesses about how they get the robe to stay standing on its own. I think the easier thing is like, she slipped out of the robe and
it's I think it's
into a little trap door and hustled her way back upstairs.
It's not too dissimilar from like the magician's trick where they go into the trunk,
right,
and then they slip out the back of the trunk.
Yes.
I think that's how they did that. But the way that they got the robe to stand perfectly in the shape of a human and then on command collapse,
right, and the knife go flying in
Yeah.
the exact right way so that it'll end up stuck in the floorboards standing up. And it was just like choreographed and timed so perfectly.
Yeah.
And it's at this point in the play where you're in like act, I don't know if this was like 4 or 5 acts, I don't know, scenes.
Scenes. It's 2 acts.
Yeah.
And a bunch of scenes.
Yeah. You're like what, maybe like right before intermission?
So
or like there's another.
I thought when I was talking to a friend of mine today about it, and I thought this was the last thing they did before intermission, but then I remembered the seance is the last thing.
Yes.
Because she says you're going to die here or something.
Yeah,
And
that's the big. Yeah. But so
I think this is the scene directly preceding that because that's when they call the woman to come in and
But you're kind of like a quarter or a third of the way through the show.
Yeah.
And it's the first big thing that happens beyond like strange banging or like the lights flickering,
TV
like,
going on.
Yeah, things like that have been happening.
Which, sorry, I was very confused at the when the TV went on because I didn't even know there was a TV there.
Right,
where we were sitting, you could not see
we
it.
were very high up, so we had a great view of the second floor of the house.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a cutoff view of the first floor.
Yeah.
But it's the first big bit, right?
Yeah.
Like it's and nothing like it happened up to that point. So when it happens, like, yeah, you can get a little sense of like, oh, she's going to turn around and something's going to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
But no part of me suspected that she was going to open the door upstairs and be like, babe, who are you talking to? And then it like timed so perfect, and his reaction was so good.
And they worked it so well too, where she doesn't say, when she comes out from upstairs, she doesn't say her line immediately.
Yeah.
Because collectively in the audience, everyone was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the noise of the audience was like, whoa, what?
Yeah,
like,
so like there's just enough time.
Yeah.
They give it just enough room to breathe that you can kind of process what you're seeing.
And it also makes sense because she can't see downstairs.
Right.
She's standing at the top of the upstairs landing, and she's just hearing him downstairs walking around talking like he's talking to someone.
Yeah.
So it takes her a second. Like, she hears his voice, and then she opens the door, and it takes her a second to be sort of like, wait, what is he doing? And then she delivers the line. So, yeah.
And
really good.
Yeah, then the whole place went nuts. I think there might have been an ovation. I think people started clapping after that.
I think so, yeah.
But at that point, like, that's the point where you're locked in.
Yeah,
'Cause, like, this is what you're in for.
I also love it at the start of the next scene because the fight they had been having as a couple was she was experiencing all of this paranormal stuff, and he was kind of shoo-shooing it and like, you know, treating her like, well, have you been taking the medicine that the doctor gave you? You know, and then the next scene starts, and he looks like shell shocked, like he just came out of World War II, and she's just like, do you believe me now?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, and it really it's the real statement moment for the story, for the show.
Yeah.
Because up to that I kind of, you know, they're doing lights flickering and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is probably some chairs are going to move and it's whatever.
Right. Maybe a ghost is going to pop out of a room, you know.
But when they did this, I was like, oh, they're doing something. They're really making a statement with this.
Yeah. And what it also does is it sets up a precedent for the rest of the, I almost said movie, for the rest of the show, where you can't necessarily believe that who you think you're seeing is who they seem to be.
From a critically, I will say I do think they lean on that a little too much.
Sure.
But I think it worked every time.
Yeah.
But like after they do that bit, they, I think twice, do the thing where it's like, well, that's great, honey. If only you were talking to your wife, you know, and it's like, oh, okay. And I think it works in the moment, but it's kind of like I was saying before, it's almost like they kind of work backwards in intensity for the things that they're doing. Like they definitely give you the most impressive thing first.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's good.
Yeah.
But then by the end, when the husband is doing his monologue, where you're finding out that all of this is, you the whole play, you think that the ghost is hassling her. Yeah. But it's actually hassling him.
Yes.
Because he tells the story about drunk driving and killing a kid.
Yeah.
By that point, you know, the trick that they pull is not a physical visible illusion.
Right.
It's just acting.
Right.
It's just the wife changing her character and being like, I'm a monster now.
Yeah. I would give her a little more credit than that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to illustrate.
Yeah, and I do think that it like we said earlier, it speaks to the nature of like stage performance is a different thing, right? Like it is supposed to be more focused on the actors themselves and less on the rest of it,
right?
Compared to a movie,
which is, I do really appreciate that because they do keep your the suspense level and the tension level high.
Yes.
and let them do their acting.
Yes.
It's not all just bells and whistles and
right, where like, oh, this could be scary. You know, you could put a bunch of 6th graders up there and have them act in this and it would still be scary because the actors don't matter. It was still about like the characters and the actors. Yeah, I
was going to describe it earlier as it being like an amusement park ride, but I didn't want to do that because I think something like your Beetlejuice or your Back to the Future, where it's like, this is about the spectacle,
right?
You know, it's
right.
Do I really need to see people talk their way through Marty McFly showing up late to class?
Right.
No, I'm here to see the time travel.
Yes.
This is really giving you this these illusions and special effects as kind of, they really do support the story that they're telling.
Yeah. It's clear that like we were saying before, that this is something that was created to be shown on stage like this and is not just like, well, everybody loves this movie, so what if we made it a musical?
Right.
Yeah. No,
the ghost is back. The ghost is back.
Bwop,
bwop.
I think that there's some of the smaller bits that happen around are really fun. They play they do some really fun stuff with shadows.
Yeah.
That's kind of classic, you know, of like there's a shadow moving across the back,
I forgot about
the back
shadow,
wall, and like nothing else is like the characters are asleep, and so they're not reacting, but you as the audience know what's happening, so you get that like the audience gasp and murmur as they realize that it's not a person walking across; it's just a shadow by itself.
You know what I thought they might do? I thought they might do a Pepper's Ghost.
Remind me. I know what that is, but
that's the one where it's like,
is it the one
it's a reflection?
Yeah.
Where it looks like you're like doing a reflection onto a pane of glass or something.
Yes.
So it looks like a transparent person.
Yeah.
But you know they're walking under. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Look it up. Google it.
Tricks with mirrors.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that would have been really cool. I think it would have been too much for this, because in Paranormal Activity, the movie, you never like see a ghost.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been maybe a step too far for this.
You come closer in this.
Yeah, that's true. You do. Like the very last bit is a nice...
Yeah.
I wish we had a better angle on it, because they do this thing where, you know, the wife is possessed, and then the last, for lack of a better term, shot of the play is the wife collapsing to the ground in the doorway of the house.
Yeah.
And directly behind her is this ghost woman.
Yes.
That you do not see until the wife falls to the ground.
Right. Like it's left her body and there it is.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the closest you get.
I do like the bit, like again, talking about the way the set is designed, where it is a functional upstairs and downstairs, right? So there was the scene where I think the husband was downstairs at maybe the kitchen table, like looking through paperwork, trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And she was upstairs in the bedroom and she's trying to light a candle. And we've all done this. If you try to light a candle, you know, it's like deep in the jar and you've got one of those long lighters, but it's not quite catching. And so you almost get it. It sort of flares to life and then it dies. It sort of flares to life and then it dies, and you do it. And then there was that quick bit where like a hand just sort of came over her shoulder right before the candle flickered out again, and everyone in the audience was just like, "Wah!"
Yeah. And that's one of those ones where if you're looking in a different part of the house, you might miss it.
Exactly.
Because it's not like the focus of the scene.
Right. There's no like she's doing it enough times that like you don't know which of them you should be looking at. So you keep kind of going back and forth, and then you're like, well, should I be looking at them or should I be looking at like the empty rooms in the house?
Right.
And then there's no music cue for it. Like when it happens, it's just people in the audience who spotted it react instinctively. And then if you missed it, you're like, wait, what? Wait, what was it? What? I missed it. What was it?
Yeah.
And you just have to like deal with having not seen it.
Yeah. I did like that they pulled the same trick in two different ways, back to back with the mother.
Yes.
Where so there's a
I like that they escalated it. Yeah.
Yeah. The guys, one of the running things is he's having video phone calls with his mom, and she's like, well, when are you going to have kids? And you're
she's the like quintessential overbearing mother.
Yeah,
right?
She's concerned about him, and she's concerned about the wife, but she kind of thinks the wife is, weird.
She's like making those comments,
Yeah.
and he's not really shutting her down the way he should when she does. So she's like, well, I'm just trying to think of what's best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so later in the play, he has another phone call with her, but the what she's saying to him is getting more and more hurtful.
Yes, it starts off the way the initial phone call does, and then it keeps going.
And it never, like, her tone never gets overly, like, evil.
Yeah, she's like a churchy Southern lady.
Yeah, and it was really funny because the audience was definitely reacting as though this was a mother saying these things to her son.
Right, like, oh my God, why would she say that to him? That's so horrible.
And then, like, right towards the end, it gets, like, nasty.
Yeah, I think she tells him to eat a bullet.
That's right, yeah. She says eat a bullet.
Yeah.
And then...
But she says it in a very sweet, churchy mom voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, then you should probably just eat a bullet then.
Right, exactly.
And then the punchline to that is, like, once he kind of clocks what's going on, she says, like, well, then you better just answer
First, you should answer the door.
Answer the front door. And then this really loud bell goes off.
Yeah.
And he goes over and he opens the door, and his actual mother is there.
Right.
Having flown to London.
Right, from the U.S.
Yeah, and you get this, they have this scene where it's a good scene that furthers the story because she went there because she's concerned.
Yeah.
She called his work. He's not showing up to work anymore.
Right.
All this kind of other stuff.
Right.
And, like, as it's going, I'm going, like, they're not going to do this again, are they?
And the thing that got me was the wife comes downstairs, and, like, the wife sees her
acting really fucking weird.
She's acting really fucking weird, and, like, she clearly and the mom clearly don't have, like, the best relationship, but she's acting even weirder than you would think. And she, like, won't come all the way down the stairs, and she's, like, crouched on the stairway, like, peering between the banister.
Yeah.
And, like, so you think she's going to do something, right?
Yeah,
Like you think, like, she's, like, crouched in the dark, like, just barely outside of the light. And you're like, yeah, she's going to freak out or do something. And then the scene with the mom keeps going.
Yeah, and, like, they kind of... You kind of let your guard down.
Yeah, it goes on long enough.
For the mom. Well, because it goes on so long, and also because, well, they just did this mom bit.
Yes.
Then they do the same bit.
Except she's in the house.
She's in the house.
Yeah.
And she says, well, then you better open the door. And the bell goes off again. And then all the lights start going crazy.
Yeah.
She, like, tears her eyeballs out or something.
She starts screaming and ripping her own face off.
Yeah. And then, so you're getting this thing where all these lights are kind of blinking on and off. And there's one light on her, then it blinks off, then it blinks back, and she's gone.
Yep.
And that was another one. I'm like, I assume there was a trap door or something.
Right, but it happened so quick. You're like, she did not. It's not like she ran for the door, opened the door, got out and shut it.
It was like a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
But they've got the lights going in such a way that your focus is not on her.
Yeah, you're like a little disoriented.
Yeah. And so it was really well done. That was one where I was like, they kind of do the same bit twice.
But it works.
Because
they do it twice.
Yeah, that's why it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the one that I wished was better. Well, there's two things. Mm-hmm. I wish the seance had done more, because all they really get out of the seance is some creepy stuff from the spirit box.
Yeah.
The chair moves.
Yep.
And then, in a very throwaway line, you find out that this psychic is just full of shit. Which, like, I was kind of hoping that would go on a little longer. What I expected was, when this woman shows up, this psychic, I thought she was going to have entered the story and do the thing they usually do, where she's, like, in the house with them and doing this and blah, blah, blah. But it was over so fast.
Yeah.
And they never bring it up again. And it was just like,
I mean, I think they get enough out of it story-wise, though, that comes back around later on. Like, there is a lot of talking in it, and there's a lot of good hints about people's character. Mm-hmm. Like, as she's setting up to do the seance, and she's positioning the chairs and lighting candles and putting them in the right spot and telling them what they have to do, she starts asking them questions, and she asks the wife, tell me why you love your husband.
Yeah.
And the wife goes on and has all these really lovely reasons about like what kind of person he is and how generous he is and how caring he is towards others and all of these wonderful things she knows about him and all this. And then when she asks the husband, he says something that initially sounds really sweet. And he's like, when I'm with her, just like everything is right in the world, and it everything just feels really good, and like when I'm with her, I know like I'm with the right person,
Yeah.
And at first it sounds really sweet, and then she goes, okay, can you try again, but say something about her?
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, oh, okay,
Yeah.
like I would not have clocked that.
That feels like something the writer was told at a therapy session.
Yeah. Or wishes they had been able to tell a partner.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And there's also a little bit of the fake medium or whatever she is. She says something to the wife about like you're like a doorway or like you're like a conduit, which I think sets more stuff up for later. And I do love the bit where the voice that's coming through the radio is supposedly the wife's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she's being very like, I don't want you to suffer anymore, and I want you to be happy, and da-da-da. And the wife is like, that's not my mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you find out much later on why she was so certain about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like I do like that at the end when they have this big coming clean moment where
Yes.
you've been getting bits and pieces about the wife's backstory.
Yeah.
And then she finally tells the whole thing where she apparently set her own house on fire and either knowingly or unknowingly ended up killing her own parents.
It was sort of, she was a child.
Yeah,
when
she
it
was a
happened.
child, yeah.
She was a child when it happened, and it's heavily implied, or I don't remember if she says straight up that like she knew they'd been drinking, because that was the other thing, is that her parents
they're all
were
neglectful.
They were neglectful and abusive, and they were drunks. And it's kind of stated that like she doesn't realize that at that point they're so drunk that they're not going to wake up and get themselves out. Like she thinks she's kind of causing some chaos. It doesn't seem like she was like, aha, finally they're drunk enough that now they will die. It seems like, kid logic.
Right.
Like, didn't fully understand the implications.
And it's just really funny because it's like she goes through this whole thing and then she's like, wow. Oh, that feels so great to get off my
I feel
chest.
so much better.
What about you? Do you have anything you want to talk about? And he's like,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. She's like, what do you? And then he tells this story about killing a child.
Yes.
It's basically the bit from the SNL Neil Diamond Storytellers, where he's like, I wrote this song after one night I was driving home drunk and I hit a kid.
Yeah.
Got out to see if he was okay, and sure enough, he was dead. And that's when you find out that this is all about him and it's not about her.
Right.
Which I thought was a nice twist.
Yes.
I think my biggest disappointment was the last big gag that they do. I didn't think worked really well.
When he runs out the door.
No, that was good because he runs out the door and he gets hit by a car.
Yeah, which I love.
Which looked really good.
Yeah.
It's like right before that, the thing that drives him out of the house when like all the cabinets open and like that door upstairs opens and it just looked like a bunch of papers got thrown out of it. It was hard to tell what was going on, and it wasn't. I was hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah.
Either something that lasted longer or something a little bit more spectacular.
Yeah.
But maybe, I mean, the him getting hit by a car thing was pretty good.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the real final bit. But.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Speaking of final bits, I don't think I have anything else to say.
No.
Yeah. If you get a chance, go check it out.
Totally worth it.
Yeah. Even
really fun time.
Honestly, even if you haven't seen it and you listen to us kind of spoil a bunch of stuff, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. It's still worth seeing how they do it in real life.
Yeah.
And watching it as things build on themselves. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so recommend.
Yes.
And thanks you guys for listening.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Amanda.
Thanks, Clay.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.